Yo, this video is inspired by a comment on my recent video on why reading 3 books at a time is changing my life. Helmet Carrot read your message. So basically, the question is, how do you motivate yourself to put some time aside and pick up a book? And I'm reading the message, and it does what I'm picking up, because the way I'm going to answer this is going to be logically, but also vibrationally or intuitively. First off, based on the message, it seems like there's a pressure that you feel that you need to be reading books, that somewhere in the back of your mind you know that you need to be reading books or that you would like to read books, but you just keep procrastinating or you keep feeling that pressure of, oh, I need to read books. And what I'm feeling is, first off, I don't approach books as a method, as a something that I need to do. I see books in line with, I put them in line with everything else. So it's a medium that passes on information, right? It's one way, it's one medium. I can pick up an audiobook, or I could watch a movie, a documentary, um, uh, or I could watch a podcast, or I could read an article. So it doesn't have to be a book. A book is just a vehicle for information, and I want to break that down for you, because logically, then if you're already consuming things, then you're already consuming information. It's just a matter of what kind of information, and and I don't want to put the vehicle itself on a pedestal. What I want to put on a pedestal, or not so much on a pedestal, but to make it clear to you, is that it's the information that you're seeking, not so much the reading of the books. Okay. Now, of course, there are a lot of benefits to reading books. Like it trains your mind to be able to focus. You pick up a lot of things along the way. It helps you develop your vocabulary, so many different things, gain an articulation, etc., etc. And maybe this is where you need to figure out for yourself. If you want to start reading books, why do you want to start reading books? It's not just because, it shouldn't be just because on this pressure, internal pressure, that, oh, I need to read books. Maybe you just need to sit down and ask yourself, why do I feel this pressure? Where is it coming from? Why do I feel called to books specifically as a vehicle for information? And then you might find that, hey, maybe it's just this idea that books make you smarter that I want to do. Maybe that's just a false premise, because audiobooks can make you more can make you smarter. Documentaries can make you more educated. It's about education. It's about illumination. So, what I want to lead you towards is, for me, what has helped me out so much has been, okay, I have this thing that I'm really passionate about, or I'm really curious about, and there is no pressure for me to finish a book. Okay, you know, if you just pick up a book and you read one page, and then you came back to it 3 months later, that's progress. And I'm right there. Okay, I'll be right there. If you just picked up that one book, and yeah, within 3 months you read another page, that is progress. Why? Because you're tuning into what it is you like about it. And this might sound completely contradictory to what a lot of people say, like discipline, etc., etc. My approach is going to be a little different too, because for me it's more about perspective, perception. It's about the way you see a book rather than what you're trying to get out of it. Because when you start seeing things as a means to an end, then you really don't see them as they are at their core. They are just mediums for transmitting information. So I want to dissolve that perception of books make you smarter, or you need to read books. That is not the case. You do not need to read books. If now, for me, I wouldn't have said this a few years ago, but if I were to have died and not have read a book until my death, I don't think I would feel any less satisfied about my life, because wisdom can be found in other things. Okay, so let's just put that out there. Now, if you want to sit down and you really do, maybe there is a desire, maybe there really is something there for you, maybe books are really the key to you tuning into something much deeper in life. Okay, great. What I would suggest is remove the pressure of needing to finish a book. You pick it up, you read it, maybe you skim it, maybe you read 2 chapters, and that's it, and that's fine. You don't need to finish a book. I haven't finished a book in a while, unless I feel really called to it. Very rare that happens, though. Usually when that happens, it's like a fever dream where I'm just consuming, and I read for 3 days and I finish the book. Um, do not compare yourself. Do not compare your progress to other people's progress. I remember a lot of people like to say, "Oh, I read 100 books in this year. That's my goal." Fuck that. Don't do that. Nobody cares how many books you read. For example, for me, it's like if I read one book and it's a book that I keep rereading and I keep getting information from it, then it is all I need. And am I less wiser than the individual who read 100 books? This is the thing too. Are you seeking information, or are you seeking wisdom? Because if you're seeking wisdom, that means having your book accompanied with contemplation. Sort of like the Bible, I feel like people might do this where they read a verse and they really sit with it and they allow for it to be integrated into their daily life. That's really what I'm talking about. If you really want to grow as an individual and you want to make use of these things, you have to be applying these concepts. So for me, right now I'm reading like 3 books. I just moved to a new job. I have something that I'm interested in, learning about neurodivergence, learning about raising children. And I'm learning about learning math. So a lot of different things. I read one chapter, I make a decision as to how I'm gonna approach my next day, and then I reflect on my on what I did, and then I see whether I need to read more or whether it was a matter of application. And so all of these things, it needs to be a closed circuit. You need to know why you want to read books, and you need to know for what purpose. And if there's no specific purpose to it, how are you gonna apply it anyways, right? Not that everything that you read needs to be applied, etc., etc. It's just, you got to be careful. You got to be listening to this in a way that it's not so much logical. This is not a specific how-to guide. This is more so my experience has taught me that when you go with the flow, life is just easier and life is more fun. And so if books are a part of that fun, then I will read hella books, and I have done that. I have a whole freaking library here at my home, and I'm constantly buying books, and people know that I eat that shit like if it was like I eat books for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So that's not an issue with me. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. One last point. I mean, you don't have to pick up the book right now. All right? You don't have to read right now. You don't have to do any of this. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself from a point of like, what exactly is calling me to this book? What exactly is it that I'd like to do? Connect that with a few things that you're already passionate about. If you're passionate about anime, pick up a fucking manga, maybe. Like that's it, right? Like I think that's really what it is, man. It's a medium, all right? Let's not forget that. It's not to be venerated as the source of wisdom. The source of wisdom is life. I've read so many people who are intellectuals who read hella books, but when it comes to relationships, for example, their emotional intelligence is underdeveloped because they don't have that experience of applying the things that they learn. I also know a lot of people who are not intellectuals, who don't read any books, but are very, very intuitive and are able to navigate life from a place of integrity and from a place of authenticity. So what is your aim, right? What is your aim? So yeah, that's just what I want to say. Hopefully that was helpful for you, my boy, or girl, whoever it is. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you on the next one. Stay lucid. Peace.